So today we're going to do another interview with one of our new Catholics, GarBo Wong, who became Catholic this summer during our pandemic, and also Allison, his wife, who is also GarBo's sponsor. And this has been a very unusual year, but about a year ago, you began the journey to become a Catholic. And can you tell me a little bit about what drew you to the Catholic Church?
So the interesting thing is, I grew up in Boston, so a heavy Catholic community. And when I started dating Allison, knowing her family, I saw the goodness, the kindness that comes out of Allison's family and Allison. Mm-hmm. And that was when I started to be closer to the Catholic religion and the love of Christ. But I've always said to myself, I wasn't going to convert until I wanted to, not when I needed to.
Okay.
And I didn't want to do it because Allison was Catholic. And so last year was when the time was right. And ironically, we started the journey in August of last year. All these things started to happen. Because I've always said I didn't want to do it because of some event in life. And ironically, all these things started to happen. And to me, it strengthened the need. It strengthened my calmness in what's been happening over the last year or so. So it's been great. And all the lectures, the discussions with Lee after Mass, they've been very enlightening, very, very eye-opening in terms of what Catholicism is and the love of Christ. And I think because of that, the journey's meant a lot more to me.
And I understand too that because you travel a lot normally, that you were not able to be physically present at every session that we had, but you watched some of them online. True?
That's right. It worked out very well, especially when I was stuck at Heathrow Airport. That's when I was watching them all.
Okay. And you know, this is very good because this year we're going to have the option for people to attend the classes live, but it will be a limited number, and we're also going to be either live streaming or making available the videos for people to watch afterwards. So I'm glad to know that option worked really well for you.
It worked very well in terms of building the fundamental understanding, the awareness. I have to say you should try to attend the face-to-face because you lose out on the engagement. You need to have the dialogue and the question, because that's what this journey is. It's answering the questions you have about Catholicism. And so attend as much as you can.
Wonderful. I appreciate your saying that. And last year, the group that we had was very engaged.
Yes.
They asked lots of questions.
Yes.
And I always love the questions. So this year, we'll definitely be making our space safe for everyone. So those who can attend in person, we're going to have all the necessary protections that we can put in place. We'll keep people socially distant. We'll have face coverings and that sort of thing. But it does give the opportunity for that live interaction. So.
And I was very fortunate that my sponsor is my wife. So most of my questions were answered by her.
Okay. So this is wonderful. So not everyone chooses their spouse to be their sponsor. So why did you decide that Allison would be your sponsor?
There is trust. There is the fact that she knows me. She knows how I think. She knows my heart. So that she's not trying to sell Catholicism. You don't sell Catholicism. It's about faith. It's about belief, right? And it's about a personal journey. So who better to guide me through that journey than my wife?
Allison, what was it like to be a sponsor for your husband?
It was very nice. It was nice on both sides. I've often prayed that my husband would become Catholic, but I never pressured him or made it a requirement because of the fact that I wanted it to be a real sense of faith. I didn't want it to come out of obligation. I wanted it to be driven by his own choices. So when he asked me to do it, I at first was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, really? But then I said, okay, we can do it. And it is a big commitment, but at the same time, it was a wonderful commitment because even though I've attended 16 years of Catholic school, it was great to hear again and to remind myself and to also learn about the history of the church and ethics and why we think the way we do. And then it was also really lovely to have that time together, each of us, just the two of us. And we had relocated here about 6 years ago, so it let us meet other people in the church where we had not in the past. So we got to meet new people and build relationships with them. And that all of it was really wonderful that we did it together.
How wonderful. It sounds like you would recommend to Catholics who are thinking about maybe being sponsors or involved in RCA that it would be a good experience for them.
Oh, it was a wonderful experience.
Okay.
It was really wonderful. Because especially when we were in such a busy life, yeah, I mean the quarantine and COVID kind of put a hold on some of our life things, but having that time on Wednesdays to just be together, to sit, to think, it really helped me to grow my faith as well.
And I have to ask you also, GarBo, you mentioned, and God is an infinite respecter of our human freedom. He always invites, and I think you kind of put it in your own language, but I think there's something about being Catholic, it's not about promoting it, but about its attractiveness. And at any point in the year, did you feel pressure to become Catholic, or did you feel like your freedom was respected along the journey?
Never pressured. In fact, the one thing that Alice and I had a lot of dialogue around and discussion was, and even in some of our session, was that there's a perception of what Catholicism is, and then there's the reality. So, and all the discussions at your lecture, discussions with Janet, Lee, Father Bosel, they were all very eye-opening, and it's about the love of Christ. It's about the values. It's not about following everything to the letter or believing everything. I would say you put some of the events in history in context. And I think that there's some perceptions of people about Catholicism that is extremely strict. And at least for me, I found that it is not strict at all. It's about the core value. It's about the love of Christ. It's about how you make the community better. It's about how you help other people. And that's the core of it. And that was for me, through this journey, what I got out of it.
So I think that there is something about that, because finding the person of Jesus, and that's where we are in Catholicism, helps us to become the person that God created us to be, and to live fully the life God created us to live. So I do have to ask you one question, though. This year, bringing someone into the church became very different, because we did it outside. You were baptized in an outdoor mass. So what was it like going through the actual process of being baptized and confirmed and receiving your first communion this year?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was great. It was great. You know, we couldn't have asked for better weather.
True.
And I think we love the fact that the water was ice cold. So I think we all saw it coming. But it was a very memorable experience. Doing it outside just made it more special. It wasn't problematic. It wasn't. It was great. The process was smooth.
I could see the joy on your face when you were baptized. It was you radiated joy. So. And I didn't even realize the water was that cold. Normally inside we do warm the water.
Oh, really?
The hot water is warm. So
it was a hot day, so
it was a hot
good.
day. So good. Well, I really appreciate your willingness to come in and talk about the great journey that you undertook to become Catholic. And I hope that it's an inspiration for anybody that's thinking about that possibility. Well, do you have anything either of you would want to say to anybody that's thinking about perhaps joining us this fall? As any last thoughts?
Two things. I would say, if you've always thought about it, just do it, if anything, for the education.
Okay.
And it'll reconfirm your decision to do it. Right? For me personally, like I said, I didn't want to do it when I needed to do it, in terms of what was going on in my personal life. I know I needed to do it for my salvation, but that wasn't why I did it, right? I did it because I wanted to. So if anyone is thinking about doing it, do it for the journey and education, and then become a Catholic because you wanted to and you see the value in it.
Wow. The desire.
Yes.
Very good.
And I thought it was a wonderful experience, not just because of doing it as your sponsor, but also because of the people that we met and
Yes.
the commitment that they had to each other and to the community at St. Henry's.
We have a great community.
It's a fantastic community.
Yeah. So glad y'all are part of it. And Allison and Garbo, very much appreciate your being here today for this. So.
Yes.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you
Thanks
for
for
everything. I
having
wish I
me.
could
Thank
shake
you
your
for
hand.
everything.
Well, maybe elbow bumps.
Yeah.
Virtual bumps. So. Thank you all.